Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers, what does Cameron Matheson think Drew and Willow's future holds? According to General Hospital spoilers, Cameron Matheson is astonished by how people have reacted to Drew Quartermaine and his romance with Willow Corinthos. Despite the backlash from fans, Cameron supports Drew and Willow. According to General Hospital spoilers, Drew Quartermaine has recently undergone significant changes. Matheson was best recognized for his role as Ryan Lavery in All My Children. However, Matheson has been in Hallmark and GAC films, in addition to his other interests, like as his new game show, The Bridge. Matheson gave an interview to Woman's World on the changes in his alter identity. Matheson stated, "It was a drastic adjustment. What struck me the most was how the rest of Port Charles spoke about Drew. People despised him. With everything the Quartermaines, Jason, and Sonny have done, a little infidelity is making Drew the evilest guy alive. Of course, Drew has been playing around with his nephew's wife and mother." Spoilers, what can fans expect next? Matheson admits to being a big fan of Willow and Drew's relationship. Matheson thinks this could be one of the greatest love stories of all time. However, this did not begin as a love story at all. Drew had a connection with Nina Reeves before he and Willow started sneaking around behind everyone's back. According to Matheson, "I love love stories, and this could be a really cool one if the show decides to do that." In soap operas, love stories often begin with dysfunction, blunders, and betrayal, but eventually the couple comes together. However, audiences are less enthused about this particular pairing. General Hospital spoilers, against all odds, Matheson reveals he would want to see Drew and Willow take on the world. Not all romances last, but he thinks Drew and Willow have what it takes. Fans don't understand why this is such a beautiful romance because Drew has already been with Nina for so long. How can Matheson expect supporters to be so accepting of them? Are Drew and Willow the couple to cheer for, or are they simply a fantasy? Drew's track record hasn't been great, so why does he think Willow will stay with him when she is cheating on her husband? Is Matheson correct in his assessment that Drew and Willow possess the necessary survival skills? What are your thoughts? Please let us know in the comments below. Is Drew the worst father on General Hospital? Drew's parenting abilities have deteriorated significantly. What happens to Scout? Drew from General Hospital has been busy wrecking lives lately. His greed has caused chaos in more than half of Port Charles, and now he is doing it to his own daughter. Full House, the Quartermaine mansion, often known as Monica's house, has become a home for many Port Charles youngsters. Leo lives there, while Wiley and Amelia live in the Gatehouse. Violet stayed there temporarily while her father was in recovery. Scout and Rocco have recently moved in. The three newest young house guests are grieving their mother/stepmother, so the fathers decided it would be best for them to stay together at the QS. They grew up as siblings and intended to remain that way. But Drew has whisked Scout away from her family, and she now lives in a hotel. She looks to be alone a lot because her father is constantly assisting his girlfriend with the problems she and her children have created. Alexis, Sam's mother and Scout's grandmother, comes to the rescue. She is understandably concerned about her granddaughter. Drew moved her out of Quartermaine's, stating she was kicked out. Tracy would never kick a child out of her house, particularly Monica's grandchild. They kicked the father out, and he took his daughter with him. If he had a heart, he would have left her with her brothers and Dante, who had raised her for some of her life. This is what Sam would have wanted. Alexis offered Drew an alternative plan because she did not want Scout to be alone in a hotel room. She offered to have her granddaughter live into her home. Scout would live with her grandma and Aunt Molly, and she would also have visits from Aunt Christina. They adored Sam's daughter. Drew turned her down. He wants his daughter with him, but is she truly with him? He's going around doing everything deceitful and unpleasant so Willow can have her children. He does not appear to care about his daughter's well-being and is solely concerned with himself. There have been many awful fathers on GH, but Drew is the worst right now. Would you agree? Please let us know in the comments. General Hospital spoilers, 3 shocking secrets that must be revealed during February sweeps. General Hospital spoilers imply that February sweeps are just a few weeks away, and if January is any indicator of how much drama will be felt next month, viewers should ready themselves for a wild trip in Port Charles. Sweeps months are a time for surprise hookups, huge confrontations, and the revelation of secrets, so here are the top 3 GH stories that need to be told. General Hospital spoilers. Secret number 1. Drew and Nina's affair. As Drew Quartermaine continues to exploit Willow Corinthos, one thing could finally stop him dead in his tracks: Nina Reeves exposing him for the tiny ball he is. Willow has no idea that while Drew was kissing her and attempting to entice her away from her husband, Michael Corinthos, he was also doing the same with her mother. This would surely break any current romance between the two. Unfortunately, Nina should be the one to come forward, but it appears like someone else will, which means Willow will cut Drew, as well as her mother, out of her life. GH spoilers. Secret number 2. Cyrus Renault's digitalis killing spree. According to GH spoilers, the show's protagonists are getting closer to discovering Cyrus Renault's digitalis killing spree in the hospital, but not quite close enough for everyone's liking. Michael's life was just saved because to Isaiah Gannon's quick thinking, but fans know Cyrus will not be deterred, and his hit list will likely grow in the coming days and weeks. Here's hope that the February sweeps will be the point at which Cyrus is found playing God on GH and is permanently removed. General Hospital spoilers. Secret number 2. Gio Palmieri is Brooke Lynn's long-lost baby. GH fans have had a nagging suspicion for a while that there was more to Gio Palmieri than meets the eye, and this teen pregnancy/long-lost son storyline has been a slow, but wonderful, burn for fans. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine Chase recently confirmed that she had a baby out of wedlock as a result of a teen pregnancy she had during a summer camp fling, and based on the way Lois Cirillo's facial expressions widen whenever Gio enters the room, fans can tell Gio is Brooke Lynn's baby boy from all those years ago. When will this secret reach the rest of Port Charles, and who is Joe's father, Dante Falconeri or Cody Bell? What mystery do you hope to see disclosed in February? Leave a comment below. What's next for Michael? Today's General Hospital spoilers indicate that things are only getting worse. Portia wants to talk about Michael's care with Willow, but Carly intervenes. Jordan attempts to stop Cody and Drew from going for round 2, Brooke Lynn gets a surprise, Ava is unhappy with Rick, and Chase has his turn attempting to reach Tracy. Now that Michael's illness has stabilized, Portia visits Willow to discuss long-term care. We need to discuss Michael's next steps, the doctor continues. When Carly says, I have a better option, can she persuade Willow that sending Michael to a European clinic for therapy is the best idea? At the Port Charles Grill, Cody and Drew are about to butt heads again when Jordan runs in to prevent things from getting worse. Don't even think about it, she says. Can she maintain the peace? Brooke Lynn is stunned by one of the applicants at Deception's hiring event. Are you applying for a job at Deception? She asks, taken aback. I promise, I will be on my best behavior, Lulu smiles. Could Brooke Lynn and Lulu work together, or is this a recipe for disaster? Ava and Rick appear to be an unstoppable combo, but it appears that there is some trouble in paradise when he refuses to do what she demands. I ought to find myself a lawyer who will, she asserts, clearly upset. Chase has arrived at the Quartermaine home to take his turn convincing Tracy to return Wiley and Amelia to Willow before things get out of control. You are only causing more damage, he claims. So, is he the person Tracy advises to butt out? Cameron Matheson of General Hospital shares before and after photos of his home, having trouble sleeping these days. The recent California fires have affected many people in and around Los Angeles, and General Hospital's Cameron Matheson, Drew, informed fans last week that he was okay but had lost his home. The ABC soap star released a video of the ruins of what was left after the fire ripped through the neighborhood, and he has since posted another video demonstrating the terrible extent of the loss. Having trouble sleeping these days, so scrolling through some of the photos of before and after, he said, adding that the first 2 films were shot around a week apart. My heart goes out to the thousands of families whose home and lifetime of memories have also been destroyed. Matheson presented 19 slides containing before and after videos and images of various areas of his family's home. The fire had ravaged both inside and outside of what was once an absolutely beautiful safe haven, and some of the photos were especially heartbreaking, such as the one of Matheson and his daughter Layla by the pool and the very last one, where one gate to the property was open while family members sat at the curbside. General Hospital spoilers, Cyrus Endgame 3 shocking exit storylines as the villain is exposed. General Hospital spoilers hint that Cyrus Renault's days are numbered, and viewers may believe he is about to be exposed for all of his recent crimes. Still, what is his endgame with the show, and how will he quit storylines? After all, he's murdered at least 2 people, possibly more, and recently attempted to kill Michael Corinthos, so there's no way Cyrus will leave Port Charles in either a coffin or a set of police cuffs once he's caught for his Digitalis run. General Hospital spoilers, possibility number 1, someone kills Cyrus Renault, but how? According to GH spoilers, there are no coincidences in Port Charles, and the fact that Jocelyn Jacks recently discovered a gun at Dex Heller's apartment while cleaning up suggests that she may take matters into her own hands and kill Cyrus if she discovers that he was not only responsible for stabbing Dex, but also for the Digitalis injection that killed him. Not to mention his attempt to take her brother's life. That is, if Jason Morgan or Sonny Corinthos do not reach Cyrus first. When the truth about Sam McCall's death is out, there will be many angry people seeking justice, and Joss may have to take a number. It's also possible that someone kills Cyrus in self-defense. There is always the possibility that Nurse Elizabeth Baldwin will remember something while working that incriminates Cyrus, only for the criminal to discover it and attack her. Could she end up killing him only to protect herself? The identical scenario may play out between Cyrus and Brad Cooper or Portia Robinson. GH spoilers, possibility number 2, Cyrus is sent to prison again. GH spoilers say that there is always the possibility that Cyrus is exposed for his Digitalis serial murderer run and is apprehended by authorities and returned to prison. This option keeps Cyrus as a constant threat to his foes in Port Charles, allowing him to return at any time. General Hospital spoilers, possibility number 3, Cyrus is considered dead. Finally, if Cyrus is considered dead, the path to his comeback remains open. Unlike a clean shot to the chest, Cyrus may fall over a cliff or into a body of water after a physical altercation with another character, only to be missing. Tracy on General Hospital shares her incredible life story. Tracy Quartermaine is still a fan favorite on General Hospital, despite the fact that she has left the show several times over the years. Jane Elliott created the character Tracy in 1978 and portrayed her on and off until her 2017 retirement. In 1989, she went on maternity leave and was temporarily replaced by soap opera star Christine Jones. Elliott even transferred the character to ABC's sibling serial The City in 1996, where she remained until the show was cancelled in 1997. She returned to GH in 2003 before departing again in 2017. Although the actress stated that she had retired, fans were ecstatic when she returned to her role from December 2019 to February 2020, and then again from November 2020 to January 2021. Tracy reappeared in January 2022, and in January 2023, it was revealed that the actress would bring Tracy back to Port Charles for the show's 60th anniversary in April, as well as for a considerably longer stay. Tracy is the pampered daughter of Lila and Edward Quartermaine, and she has 2 children of her own, Ned Ashton and Dylan Quartermaine. Ned also gave her a granddaughter named Brooke Lynn Ashton. Tracy quickly feuded with her brother's wife, Monica Quartermaine, and attempted to show that her son was Rick Weber's rather than Alan Quartermaine's. Edward was unhappy with her scheme and staged a heart attack to test her allegiance. Unfortunately, Tracy withheld his medication, and Edward disowned her as his daughter. Tracy returned home in 1989, this time in need of assistance from her mother. She was stunned to learn that her son, Ned, was having an affair with Monica. However, the Quartermaine family was plunged into disarray when it was discovered that Edward had died in an aircraft crash. Fortunately, he hadn't. Tracy became closer to her first husband, Larry Ashton, but finally dumped him and fell for Paul Hornsby. Unfortunately, he abandoned her and their newborn baby, Dylan, to be with Jenny Eckert. Tracy attacked Jenny with her car out of rage, and the young woman blackmailed her into divorcing Paul. When Tracy was forced to leave the Quartermaine home, she refused to share custody with Paul and fled to Europe with Dylan. Tracy returned with a vengeance in 1996, attempting to steal the family business from her son, but was unsuccessful and ended up going to New York City, where she married a gangster, Gino Solito. After his death, she inherited his business and became the new godmother. Tracy brought her now teenaged son, Dylan, home in 2003 and immediately argued with Sky over who was the true heir to the Quartermaine estate. Luke Spencer duped Tracy into marrying him so he could get his hands on her money, but she developed affections for him, which became complicated when his great love, Laura Spencer, emerged from a catatonic state. Tracy also spent a brief spell at Shadybrook after being caught conversing with her deceased brother, Alan. Despite Laura's reappearance, Luke preferred to stay with Tracy, and she only agreed to remarry him if he signed a prenup to ensure their relationship was for love rather than money. Tracy did, but after the ceremony, he burned it in the fireplace. Anthony Zacchara blackmailed Tracy into marriage, and Luke agreed to assist her get rid of the mafia. Following Edward's death, Tracy battled to keep control of ELQ and ended up in a crazy dispute with AJ over pickle Lila, the family's relish recipe. Luke and Tracy finally split for good after she refused to take him back and he left town. After Luke experienced some mental health issues, Laura returned into his life, and he left Tracy for another adventure with his ex-wife. Tracy ran into Paul Hornsby again and rekindled their relationship, making things unpleasant when Luke returned and asked for her back. Luke eventually departed Port Charles for good, and Tracy ended their relationship after discovering Paul in bed with Ava Jerome. Tracy was suffering from severe migraines when she discovered she had brain cancer. After recuperating, she was shocked to realize that Paul was the serial killer prowling the hospital. Samira Aiden traveled to Port Charles in search of a painting Edward had left for Tracy, expecting to sell it and use the proceeds to save her daughter from human traffickers. Samira's claims that her mother was close to Edward made Tracy wonder whether they were sisters, but DNA tests revealed it was all a hoax, so Tracy paid Samira to leave town. Tracy then sold the artwork herself to fund the next chapter of her life, which she determined would not take place in Port Charles. She was later seen in Amsterdam, making a fresh start with Luke. Tracy walked through the front doors of the Quartermaine estate at Christmas 2019 and was astounded to discover that it had undergone a big renovation. She was also astonished to see Brooke Lynn back in Port Charles and informed Ned that ELQ was under threat of a hostile takeover. Tracy was even more surprised to find that Nellie Benson had acquired ELQ stock and was preparing to move into the mansion. Tracy was furious, accusing Michael of instigating the latest situation and urging Ned to step in as CEO to resolve it. Tracy returned to Amsterdam certain that the family business was safe after Ned informed his mother that he had everything under control. Tracy returned to Port Charles for another visit in November 2020, and when she discovered that Ned had cheated on Olivia with Alexis, she attempted to get the attorney off her back by accusing her of drunk driving. Of course, the truth finally came out, and while Olivia confronted her cheating husband, Monica told Tracy to leave town since the cops were on their way to arrest her for the false claim. Tracy arrived at Laura and Kevin's door just after midnight on New Year's Day 2022, revealing that Luke had perished in a cable car accident in Austria. After relaying the tragic truth, Tracy was arrested for what she had done to Alexis. Fortunately, she was swiftly released from jail after Alexis refused to cooperate with the authorities. Tracy also learned Brooke Lynn was raising Maxie's kid, Louise, but she understood why. At Luke's memorial service, Tracy offered Laura the Ice Princess, but she declined. The diamond turned out to be a forgery, and Anna intervened to get the WSB off Tracy's back and allow her to return to Amsterdam to settle Luke's business. Tracy placed the highest offer for Ethan Lovett's life at an auction in Venezuela in April 2023. Working with Felicia Scorpio and Holly Sutton, they were able to subdue the guards and make a run for it. Tracy returned to Port Charles and caught up on all of the family news at the Quartermaine house. It was revealed that she had assisted Brooke Lynn in getting Harrison Chase reinstated as a police officer, as well as convincing Chase to reunite with Brooke Lynn. Tracy, on the other hand, collected on Brooke Lynn's obligation by compelling her to return to work at Deception and steal secret information on her behalf. When Drew Kane threatened to divulge her corporate espionage, Tracy accused him of attacking Ned and knocking him into the pool, but she soon reversed her accusation as security footage proved it was false. Tracy contacted Diane Miller after receiving a call from her unknown partner about representing her in a lawsuit against Deception. Tracy made it obvious to Eddie that she would never give up trying to get Ned back. She then surprised the deception team by appearing in court with Jackson Montgomery representing her in a lawsuit against the cosmetics firm for the rights to the Deceptor. Tracy offered to dismiss the lawsuit in exchange for a majority stake of Deception and Lucy's ELQ voting rights, but Lucy refused. It was later discovered that the mysterious person she was working with was Blair Kramer, Martin Gray's ex-wife. She also became close with Gregory Chase and was disappointed to find that he was suffering from ALS. Later, a slip of the tongue compelled her to reveal Greery's illness to his son, Chase. Lucy eventually gave in and offered Tracy 51% of Deception as a settlement to the case. Tracy then turned around and attempted to give it to Brooke Lynn so she would no longer have to worry about pursuing a career in music. Brooke Lynn originally reluctant to accept it, but she quickly changed her mind, and Tracy and Lucy were often at odds in the office. Tracy flew to Amsterdam with Bobby Spencer to help settle Luke's affairs before returning to Port Charles alone. She was furious that no one had informed her that Ned was back to normal, and she was also not thrilled that Lois was visiting. She immediately discovered Lucy and Scott were working against her and promised that they would not succeed. Tracy prevented Lois from taking over Brooke Lynn's wedding when he made a large donation to persuade Mrs. Muldoon to drop the malpractice claim against Dr. Hamilton Finn. She stoked the flames by convincing Martin that Lucy and Scott were having an affair, but they weren't, so he dumped her nonetheless, and Lucy and Scott's plan failed. Tracy was disappointed when Gregory invited Alexis to be his date at Brooke Lynn's wedding, and she subsequently discussing deception with her granddaughter. Tracy discovered a new side to Cody Bell after witnessing his interactions with James. She also formed another friendship with Stella Ashford. Tracy was devastated to find that Gregory had died in his sleep shortly after Brooke Lynn and Chase married. Tracy joined others in offering her pal some tough love, seeing how the sadness had knocked Finn off the wagon, but he pushed everyone away, as had the others. After Finn agreed to go to rehab, Tracy persuaded Brooke Lynn and Chase to live into the mansion with Violet so that there would be lots of family around. Tracy assisted Violet when she got into difficulty at school and was sad to see the little girl depart after Finn got out of rehab, sending her off with Lila's tea set as a farewell gift. When Cody confessed that he and Sasha were cousins, Tracy expressed her condolences. When he revealed that Drew had given him $50,000 to stay quiet about his affairs with Nina and Willow, she promised to help him invest it correctly and wanted to work together to keep Drew in check. Cody wanted to buy Serenity, the property where he grew up, and she offered to loan him the money, but he declined since he didn't want a handout. Tracy was furious at the Quartermaine Christmas party because everyone was watching the PCU football game, and when she snatched Michael's phone to turn off the streaming, she mistakenly broadcast the nanny cam footage of Drew and Willow having sex in the nursery to the entire room. Tracy was relieved that Michael had stolen Aurora from Drew and that Lulu had awoken from her coma. Tracy had moaned about all of the children living at the house at the end of 2024, but when 2025 dawned, she was determined to keep Wiley and Amelia because Monica wanted them there. Everyone who tried to persuade her to return the children to Willow was sent packing. Lydia Look's reaction to her return as Selena on General Hospital. Be on the lookout for more Look in Port Charles. It's been a while since Port Charles's mob scene featured anyone other than Sunny, but now that Lydia Look has returned to General Hospital, will we see another mob showdown? Lydia Look has played mob stress Selena since 2015, and she has appeared in Port Charles on and off when mob rival Sunny least expected her to. Look returns to the screen for the first time since March 2024, just in time for Sunny to suffer from heart problems and Cody to accumulate gambling debt. Look recently spoke with Soap Opera Digest about her return to GH, which she refers to as the best show in daytime. When asked if it was easy to get back into character after nearly a year, Look replied, "Selena is always just around the corner for me." Look returned on January 16th and reunited with Cody, who bet his entire $50,000 hush money from Drew on the PCU game, which ended in a loss for the hometown team. Despite her usually great sequences with Kelly's Cody, Look was questioned about another on-screen companion. Read this, see what's coming next on GH. There's a certain camaraderie we share together, the actress said of her on-screen nephew Brad, who returned to GH last year. It is familiar. Like family. There is a lifetime of material, and it's all good, every single barb and zinger has a double meaning, she told SOD. What's next for Selena? While Look doesn't divulge much about her character's future, it's safe to guess she'll be snaking around Port Charles again. First, there's Sonny's heart condition, which is causing him to consider leaving the mafia and handing over control to someone else. If Selena has to meet with a new mob boss, she'll most likely have a lot to say. Then there's Cody, who's back at gaming. However, now that he has lost all of his money on the PCU game, that little pleasure may be over. Last but not least, Brad has worked really hard to get back on track since resuming work at the hospital. Despite blackmailing Portia over interfering with Heather's test results and verbally attacking Cyrus, he hasn't yet needed his aunt to intervene. Health, wealth, and a violent battle for control. A drama-filled episode of GH. Brooklyn Quartermaine and Chase haven't been able to conceive, so they've decided to get tested to ensure that they're not having any serious issues. Lynn meets Chase at General Hospital following his checkup, and he assures her everything went smoothly. She asks whether he is afraid, and he responds that he is excited and eager about having a baby. Brooklyn is concerned that she has a medical condition that is stopping her from becoming pregnant. She and Chase share the elevator as he decides to check on Michael Corinthos in the burn unit as she goes to her appointment. Brooklyn meets with her doctor and discusses placing her first kid for adoption as a teenager. The doctor tells her that an early pregnancy does not reduce her chances of having a kid today. She now has to wait for the test results. General Hospital Wealth and Health Ava Jerome is at her gallery with Trina Robinson, ranting about all of her business ambitions that have had to be put on hold due to a lack of funds. Ava notices her employee is a million miles away and wonders what is on her mind. Trina tells Ava about the PCU game and how the media exacerbated the situation by showing Kai Taylor being knocked out repeatedly. Ava knows that there are some feelings in the air and proposes that Trina go to the hospital to see Kai. Kai is presently a patient at General Hospital following his PCU football injury. He tells Stella Henry that a dislocated shoulder won't keep him back. He claims that he is well physically, but he can't help but feel like a failure to his squad. When Trina pays him a visit, his face lights up. Even Aunt Stella sees the sparks between them. General Hospital Old Habits Die Hard Cody Bell is reeling from the bottle of whiskey he consumed when PCU lost the game and took all of his money on a poor bet. Gio Palmieri is with him at the stables, assisting him in getting his day started. Dante Falconeri joins them and says he's texting Lulu Spencer, who is leaving his texts on read. He feels she blames him for her daughter's disappearance in Prague with her father, Valentin Cassadine. Cody tells him that Lulu will overcome it. Cody also informs Dante that everything he says about Lulu now reminds him of what he said about Brooklyn when they dated as teenagers. Cody appears to still harbor feelings for Lulu. During their conversation, Selena Wu appears, and Cody is concerned about wagering all of his money on the PCU game. General Hospital, fighting the urge to drink and other things. Alexis Davis speaks with Curtis Ashford to catch up on life. She points out that he hasn't attended any AA meetings, but he realizes that the good things in life can occasionally lead to addiction. Alexis maintains that she will not diminish Sam's memory by drinking. She also states that if Drew tries to take her grandchild to DC, she will fight him about it. General Hospital, the most vulnerable are now bargaining chips outside Michael Corinthos' hospital room. His estranged wife, Willow Corinthos, is in tears. Nina Reeves pushes her daughter to drink water before informing her that her children are still at the Quartermaines and Tracy Quartermaine would not leave. Willow erupts and declares that the family cannot see Michael until she has her children back. This is still the deal. Nina does not recognize her daughter at this stage. Willow's voice sounds more like Drew Quartermaine than her own, which Nina finds depressing. She advises Willow stop fighting, and perhaps Sonny Corinthos and Carly Spencer will do the same. Everyone is hurting, and everyone is yearning to see their children. Nina exits right as Chase enters. He reassures Willow that he is her buddy as she bursts into tears. She asks for his advice and how he sees the situation. She is beginning to recognize her own tendencies, such as how she appears to hop from one man who will save her to the next. He believes that she is looking for a sense of belonging rather than a savior. He believes this is the greatest moment for her to discover herself. She calms down and realizes it's time to work it out for herself. General Hospital, Carly hits a brick wall. Carly comes at the Quartermaines, ready to face Tracy. Tracy clashes with Wiley and Amelia, insisting that they stay exactly where Monica Quartermaine wants them in this house. Carly reminds Tracy that they all love the same people, and she asks her to return the kids so they may see Michael. They battle over the grandchildren, Michael, and Monica's wishes, with no end in sight. Tracy tells Carly of everything she has put the family through over the years. Carly claims she is going upstairs to see the kids, but Tracy says she can't because they are currently busy. Carly informs her that whichever she perceives the ending, she is mistaken. Chase arrives not long after Carly leaves and informs Tracy that she must return Willow's children. General Hospital, does the truth really matter anymore? Nina leaves Willow to go see Ava at the gallery. She tells her how Willow is using custody of her children as a negotiating chip. She tells how Willow is under Drew's spell and does as she is instructed. She is losing herself entirely. Nina understands Carly's indignation at Willow's callous behavior. Ava feels it is time for Nina to reveal the truth. She needs to inform Willow that she spent the entire year sleeping with Drew while he worked his way into her life. Today's episode concludes with Carly arriving at the hospital. She confronts Willow and asks why she wants to meet her. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.